You remember the old Sesame Street song? It went, one of these things is not like the other. 5 of these things are kind of the same. Can you guess which one of these doesn't belong here? Now it's time to play our game. Well, we'll play that game here. Hey, it's Keith from Trigger Happy, and I'm going to talk about simplifying your gun collection, having a use for each gun, and simplifying your calibers. And one of these guns on the table here has got to go. It has no purpose anymore from what I'm trying to do. A lot of us went a little overboard the last few years in gun purchasing. Granted, some people are straight up collectors. They're buying the old Colts, the old Smith & Wesson revolvers, stuff like that. That's fantastic. But I'm talking about average Joe on the street that over the last couple years has bought entirely too many guns, and maybe the wife isn't so happy about it anymore, and you've got to get rid of a few things in your closet, if you're like me anyway. So what's the easiest way to pick what needs to go? Well, in my opinion, most of us these days are trying to hoard ammo. That's a bad term, but it's true. A lot of us were caught off guard. I am not one of those people. I had a fair supply of ammunition, but a lot of people did not. So people are stocking up. They're buying 22 long rifle. They're buying 5.56. They're buying 9mm, whatever it is. And they are keeping it back for a rainy day that hopefully never comes again, but chances are it probably will. So if you're like me, at one point in time, you may have a ton of different calibers and gauges of firearms. A rundown of what I had at one time was 22 long rifle, 38 special, 38 super, 9mm, 40, 45. That was just in handguns. 22 long rifle, 5.56, 270, 308. That's my rifle calibers. 20, 12, and 16 gauge and shotguns. And to buy ammo in any quantity, it was impossible. It was ridiculous. You know, you could buy a box here or there, but you never amassed anything of great quantity because it was just not possible. You know, most of us have a budget to work with, and we just can't do it. So we'll just go with handguns here. The one of these that's got to go is the Ruger, and I'll turn it around here and you'll see why. It's the SR40. Fantastic gun, but you can tell it's a closet queen because it's essentially brand new. This gun's been shot, you know, very, very, very few times. I've owned numerous Ruger guns in the past, including an SR9C. They're fantastic firearms, but I'm going with the 9mm caliber as my choice here for most of my handguns. I am going to keep a 38 special revolver because I carry it all the time. But so, you know, why choose the 9mm over all the rest? Well, my thinking is it's probably the most prevalent handgun caliber out there nowadays. Granted, there is a ton of 38 specials still out there, but most people nowadays are going to be buying semi-automatics, and most people nowadays are going for 9mm. I know in the shop we sell 9mm probably 5 to 1 over other stuff. It's just the most prevalent caliber out there. Is it the best? Absolutely not. You know, I know the ballistics of 40 and 45. I know that the 40 caliber is an outstanding caliber. It has, you know, good knockdown power, fairly good capacity on most guns, but overall it's difficult to find a carry gun that I like in a 40 cal, and it's also difficult to find a firearm as a defensive firearm that has the capacity that I want. I like the upper end. The XDM that's up here on the table, there's 20 rounds of capacity in that particular handgun. Now granted, there's 15 rounds in this SR40, which is wonderful. For a 40 cal, that's very good. But overall, I need guns that fit a specific need as well. You know, a lot of us buy 6 and 7 and 8 different handguns, and most of them, again, they're closet queens. They never come out of the safe. You know, I need a gun that will fill a specific role. So on the table here, you've got a SIG P938, which is my carry gun most of the time. You've got my M&P Pro Series, which I use as a lot of target shooting and also a lot of competition shooting. Fantastic gun. I've got my CZ P07, which is my vehicle gun. It's always in my vehicle. Then I've got an XDM there that is pretty much always at the ready at the house. That is my home defense gun. And then I've got this HK VP9 that I promise there is a full-on shooting review coming. This gun is awesome. It ain't going nowhere. I don't care what role it's going to play. It's sticking around. So send the closet queen on its way. It's got to go. So the Ruger, sorry, but it's time for you to leave. So if you're like me, maybe mama's getting a little upset that you're taking up precious closet space with more boxes of guns and they never see the light of day. You know, it's time to cut your losses and send them packing. So Keith from Trigger Happy, make your life simpler and do some downsizing. So we'll see you next time. Thanks again.